Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to our coffee times. And today we're going to be making a spoiler-free review of Come to Daddy.
Come to Daddy.
It's coffee time.
This is a movie that I really wanted to watch. I think it came out in February 2020 and I finally found it on Prime. It was there available for rental, so I decided to give it a try and I really enjoyed it. This movie is kind of like a comedy thriller family drama with horror. It's like a really mix of genres, but it worked so well. This is a movie by Ant Timpson and he's a well-known producer from New Zealand that is very involved in the horror community. He has produced like the ABCs of Death series, Turbo Kid, Deathgasm, The Grizzly Strangler. Like, he's been involved in many horror projects, and also he has helped to fund and to create some film festivals. So he is, you know, somebody that is really well known and really involved in the horror genre that's also supporting it. And Timpson, the director of the film, has actually based these on a personal story, and he asked, I believe, one of the writers from The Grizzly Strangler to help him with this script. And you can totally see that the movies that he's involved in tend to be kind of darker and a bit weirder than your regular movies, and this one is no exception. We have here dark themes, we have some interesting twists, and it is also a very violent and a bloody movie. I think the kind of combination between genres that this movie has and the kind of humor that the movie has can be really well explained with the two quotes that you get to see at the very beginning of the movie before the movie even starts. On a black screen you get two quotes. They are both related to the figure of the dad, and the first quote is from William Shakespeare and the second quote is from Beyonce. So you kind of already are seeing how bizarre this movie is going to get. We're following the story of Norval. He is a privileged white man that is still living with his mom, but in a really, you know, great mansion in Beverly Hills, and he works in the music industry, and he looks like this very modern type of successful, you know, 30-something, and he receives a letter from his dad that he has not seen since he was 5, and his dad is kind of urging him to go and visit him. So he decides to go and visit his dad that he has not seen in the last 30 years. And his dad gave him a map to find his house that it looks kind of like the typical treasure hunt maps. And he, you know, after taking the bus, he has to go through a wood, he has to go through a beach, and finally he gets to this beautiful house at the edge of the sea. So when he gets to this beautiful remote house at the beach, he gets to meet his dad that he has no memories of because he left when he was very young. And this first encounter is very awkward, as it would be in real life if you would meet your dad that you've never seen since you were 5. And he also realizes that his dad is kind of a jerk and might have a problem with the bottle. The movie starts very slow. It's a pretty slow-paced movie throughout the whole movie, but especially the first half, and it focuses more on the awkward kind of encounter between father and son that have not seen each other in 30 years, and how they are kind of trying to connect, you know, kind of trying to find closure, but it's really hard when you haven't seen somebody in so many years. Plus Norval realizes that his dad is kind of a drunk, and you know, alcoholism is kind of like a demon in the past also of Norval's life that comes back to the surface now that he has met his dad. And so this is one of the dark themes that are kind of explored in the movie. The humor in this movie was one of my favorite parts. It's one of those movies that is kind of serious, but then it has this kind of offbeat, dry, unexpected humor that it lands, and this is exactly my type of humor, and it is one of those movies that you're laughing even though it shouldn't be funny. I don't know, it's the perfect humor for me. I rather watch movies like this for horror comedy than other more expected, already seen, reused, remake 1,000 times horror comedies that they are just not funny for me anymore. So this has exactly the type of humor that I enjoy. The first half of the movie kind of focuses, like the first 30 minutes at least of the movie, are just based on the relationship between the father and the son and exploring that a little bit more. These 30 minutes though, even though it's kind of slow paced and it's just both of them, you know, talking and being a little bit awkward because they don't know anything from each other's lives, because the mother hasn't talked about his father at all, so Norval has no idea what his father even does for a living. And so that's how it starts. But thanks to, you know, the performances of Elijah Wood and Steve McHattie, who is amazing, I absolutely loved him in Pontypool. I really like this actor. I don't know, I really like him. There's something about him that I really enjoy, and I think they were both really strong actors playing really strong characters, and it worked so well at the beginning that even though it was slow paced and it focused more on their relationship, it was not boring at all. However, after those kind of 30 minutes of them getting to know each other, there is something that happens that kind of changed completely the dynamic of the film, and that's when the movie starts to take you kind of in a roller coaster as a viewer, and you keep getting unexpected scene after unexpected scene, and every character that is coming new into the film is more ridiculous than the last one. They are weirder and weirder as the movie progresses, and everybody did such a great job. The cast was fantastic for this movie, and it's full of like twists and unexpected moments and a little bit of comic relief here and there. But like I said, it's this kind of humor that it's unexpected and it's not supposed to be funny, but it is. The sound effects in the movie were kind of kept to the minimum, at least for the most part of the film, and that is, I believe, to give the movie kind of like a deeper sense of intimacy and kind of to give the movie more atmosphere, and I think it really worked. Our main character is one of the character arcs that has the biggest kind of journey, because he is set out of his comfort zone. He is thrown into this house with this guy that he hasn't seen in 30 years, and he has to go through such a hard journey, and I love to explore this character while he's going through all of these things that life is throwing at him. It is a movie that has dark themes, but it is also beautifully shot, and the color palette is kind of like more on the warmer side of tones, and those are supposed to make you feel comfortable, make you feel at home, which is weird with this movie, but it works so well. If you kind of feel comfortable in this house with these people, and I absolutely love this movie. It is weird, it is bizarre, it is nothing like you expect, and that is why I'm also kind of keeping the plot a little bit of, you know, a mystery. I'm kind of keeping it vague because it will spoil the movie if I go into a lot of detail. So I just hope that this review is gonna spark your interest in watching the movie, even if I'm not giving away too much, because I think that's how you are supposed to go into it. And this is a movie that I think everybody should give at least one try. If I would have to recommend another movie that feels a little bit like this one, it might be Tusk, because of the kind of relationship, you know, between, in Tusk, the podcaster and the old man, and here we have Norval and his dad. It kind of felt like this awkward conversation, getting to know each other, plus weird things start to happen. So, you know, it's kind of like, it gave me those vibes. The humor though in Tusk, with Johnny Depp's character, didn't really work for me, but the humor in this one, in Come to Daddy, I thought was fantastic. I ended up giving this film a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I nearly gave it a 4. This movie is great, don't get me wrong. Just because I only gave it 3.5 doesn't mean that it's not good. I really enjoyed this movie. I would rewatch this movie. I think the combination between weird and violent and bloody was great, and the characters were so, you know, different and entertaining. So yeah, definitely, you know, give it a try. Alright you guys, so this was my short review, spoiler free, of Come to Daddy. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know down below if you've watched the movie. Also, if you would compare this movie to any other ones, which ones would you choose? Let's talk about it and discuss it in the comments. Please, before you leave, give the video a big thumbs up for support, and if you want to follow me in other social media, the links as always are down below, and I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!